and ended up going to a residential treatment facility at the age of 13 in Redding, California. It was a level 14 facility, which is the highest in the state of California.
And what does that mean?
What that means is it's highest rating in California, and the next step would be either an out-of-state placement locked facility or the juvenile hall or California Youth Authority, which is a prison for kids. Also means that it's a hands-on facility where you can be restrained for unsafe, aggressive behaviors. If you're unsafe to yourself or going to be unsafe to anybody else in the house. And the staff are trained how to restrain the kids. They don't use belts or straps or anything. They use, 5-point techniques with their hands and with their legs. And it's only at the last resort situation they will do that. And so that's what level 14 is. Very intensive counseling. It's very, very, very structured, very, very, very supervised. And it's operated on a level system. And so I was there for 2 years, and about 6 months in, they didn't know if I was going to make it. I was literally out of control. They considered me sending me out of state to a locked facility. They considered sending me to juvenile hall. I'd never been in my life. No matter how much trouble I got in, I managed to steer clear of juvenile hall. And within 2 years, I had graduated the program with top honors. I had gotten several certificates for outstanding behavior. I had gotten straight A's in school.
Wow.
And within 2 years, by the time I was 15 years old, I had done a complete 180. I was a completely different kid. I still had a lot of anger. I still had a lot of frustration, but I had the foundation and the tools to be able to deal with that as I was released from the facility.
I just think that for parents who are struggling with kids, especially with attachment issues, so many times they think the worst thing they could do is send them away somewhere. And listening to you, that's actually what caused the turnaround.
Yeah, and number one reason why I think they feel it's one of the worst things they can do, because they feel the child will hold a grudge against them. They'll get upset at them for giving up on, and parents feel guilty. Caregivers feel guilty because they feel like they're giving up on the child. They're giving them back. But it's not the case. Nobody should feel that.
Well, society puts that on the parents as
Absolutely.
well. So
Absolutely.
families and
Society
friends and
does.
school and churches and all of that, because we got that from everybody.
Right, and that's because society doesn't understand the level of what you guys are dealing with, the level of what my parents are dealing with, the level that any
and even with the level of what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And when you feel out of control like that, you really needed that level of structure.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, and I tell a lot of parents today, that residential treatment may not be for everybody, but it's an absolute excellent alternative to, if you can get it,
for some,
because it's highly structured, it's highly supervised, and what it allowed me to do is vent my anger and frustrations in a safe environment. And everybody has somebody in their life that comes along who kind of affects some kind of change, and there were 2 staff members there who did that. And, for the record, they don't make a lot of money.
No, they're not doing this for the vacations.
No. Even though I probably said that many times as I was there, you're only here for the money and you don't care and blah, blah. They don't. They're not there for the money. They do care. And 2 staff members really did care. And, and they got down on my level. And they understood where I was coming from, but they didn't cross that professional boundary. They weren't there to be my friend. They weren't there to be my dad or my mom. They understood and empathized. They didn't sympathize with me. There's a difference. If they sympathized with me, then they're on my side, and they would cross that boundary. They empathized with me, which they understood what was going on, but they were also made it clear that they're there to help me.
They understand where you are, but it's not okay to stay here.
Exactly. There were consequences. There were consequences for my actions, But the big thing is they were consistent with those consequences. There wasn't, oh, you broke this, go to your room, and the next time I break something, I didn't do anything. No. Every time I did something, there were always consequences. They were the same consequences every single time.
And the thing that they can do that I think parents cannot, because they're so emotionally involved, is they can keep their emotions out of it. And that is so huge, because they don't take it personally if you're doing something. It's their job to help you, and it's their calling to help you, but they don't take it personally that you're offending them, whereas with parents, it can get really personal. You've been together and all that history and all the craziness that's going on. It's really hard to detach yourself in that way.
Sure.